Now he is an NFLPA player rep because he's a bright kid. And Rashad Jennings is joining us. The NFL player meetings are in Boca Raton for the next 5 or 6 days. He's not there right now. We just lost him. Oh, he's not at the meetings. Okay. So, Rashad, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being here for us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
As a player rep, we were just talking about a trip to China, and I said, boy, if I was a player rep, I'd stand up and say, I'm not sure about that. What is your basic takeaway on these European trips that can be pretty physically daunting? What do most players think about that, Rashad?
Well, yeah, this year we had a NFL player rep meeting in Hawaii, which obviously it takes a hop, skip, and a jump to get there. It's a nice area. It's a nice place. But most of the guys were really concerned about going there on our domestic duties and getting the job done, handling the tough situations at hand. It's nice to get away. I don't think anybody's opposed from taking a nice trip, but also I don't think anybody would be opposed from staying in mainland either, because we're there to get a job done.
Yeah. By the way, I made a big mistake. You played Jags, Raiders, Giants. Shane Vereen for a second I was thinking about. I get confused with talented guys. That's what it is. Rashad Jennings joining us. When you guys just put Richard Sherman on the executive committee and on the NFLPA executive committee. I love Richard Sherman. I absolutely love him. But he can be unbelievably outspoken. So I'm going to play a bite of Richard Sherman criticizing Roger Goodell about a new rule that could come into this league. So play the tape if you could, guys.
I think it's foolish, but I mean, it sounds like somebody who's never played the game would say, something that they would suggest, because he doesn't understand. He's just a face. He's just a suit. He's never stepped foot on the field and understood how you can get a personal foul.
So, Rashad, when you hear that, does it worry you that that's a harsh comment about a guy you could be sitting across from the table from, Rashad, and it could inflame things?
No, it doesn't worry at all. It's a comment. And, obviously anytime you implement a new rule, you're going to have opinions. Yes, Richard Sherman does have an opinion, but he doesn't. Very rarely does he give an opinion without anything backing his reasons. In that comment, sounds like he stated that Roger Goodell's never played the game, which is an actually fact. I understand Richard's standpoint, and also I could see Goodell's standpoint of trying to minimize and kind of crack the belt a little bit on taking away attention from the actual game being played with fouls. So there's a situation that you got to handle appropriately. Obviously that's what's going to happen at the end of the day. But he does have an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Through the years, these NFL meetings between owners and the Players Association, they can get pretty testy. And through the years, you want to get along with an owner, but at the same time, you guys got to push back and make it uncomfortable. Rashad, do you feel respected by and large by the owners as a current NFL player?
Playing in NFL, this is going into year 8. When people say that it's a business side to everything, what they're meaning is there's a finance to everything.
Right.
And, respect is not really relevant. And when we're talking about business, I personally feel respected by my owner, but I can't speak for everybody, and
right.
I can't. And I've never played for every owner. Every owner is different. When you have 32 teams, you have 32 different ownerships who believe in treating employees a particular way. They believe in drafting players a particular way. They believe in running their business a different way. So it would be very immature for anybody, to say that every single owner is the same. My owners have been great. So, with that being said, I feel I hold a respect level in the position I carry of working in the NFL.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rashad Jennings joining us. You obviously are somebody who knows the topics. Not every player does. Why are you so keenly interested in representing players? Because it's extra work for you. You don't have to do it. There's no obligation, but you have decided to be upfront, take on owners, have a real position. Why?
Well, one, I don't. I think that general public understand is not us versus the world. It's not players versus the owner with some type of true, like, for the top type of anger. Is a business, and you come together and you work together. Obviously, media tries to portray it as we're enemies. We're men all trying to accomplish a job. That's really it.
Yeah.
And I was elected by my team to represent us. And I take on, like you said, it's not an obligation to do this. Nobody's forcing you to. You accept it. And I feel it is an awesome responsibility to, have privy to so much knowledge, and then to turn around and give that to the players, only to better educate themselves how to garner some type of financial wealth moving forward, to minimize the, even though it's not accurate, statistic of 70% of athletes going broke 3 years outside their profession. To better our communities. There is a more heartfelt side of why I took it, not just feeling like I'm in a boxing ring, with billionaires. That's not really my MO. So part of leaving my legacy, as a professional athlete, if I'm only remembered as an NFL running back, I'm a failure in my books. And this is one way I can give back to my peers, and also set up opportunities to do the things that I want to do outside the game of football.
That's really cool. Rashad Jennings, Giants running back, NFLPA player rep. The NFL is now acknowledging, okay, CTE exists. But, Rashad, when you broke into this league, they weren't acknowledging that. You're a bright kid. You're a running back. Heck, last year you played in, I think, 16 games, rushed for about 900 yards. You're vital. You're getting tackled. You're getting hit. Let's say you're retired for 10 years. In the first part of your career, they weren't transparent. The second part of your career, the NFL was transparent about CTE. Let's say 10, 15 years after you retired, married, kids, good life, you now discover you have CTE and it's eroding the quality of your life. How comfortable would you be saying, I'm going to sue the NFL or be part of a class action lawsuit?
So first and foremost, if somebody has that type of information, it should be out.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Second, I do, as a player, understand, the severity of things that I'm signing up for. And if that's not known, then I don't. So with putting that, for just like cigarettes, you have to put it out there what happens, and give that ability for people to choose. But outside the game, I put a lot of ownership on myself. Obviously, we can't control how we get hit necessarily. If our head gets hit a certain way, but all the little things outside the game. I sleep in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, which puts me 15 feet below sea level and pumps in oxygen to heal me on the cellular level. It's also help with brain functionality. Why? Because it's an investment in my body. I get my blood drawn every year, and then I take supplements based upon my blood. Why? Because, again, that's sufficient for my body. And so I'm doing the way I eat. I'm a gluten and casein-free eater. I train year-round. I stepped out of the weight room just to do this interview. Like, I do every little thing I can to make sure I'm ready. And so I would want the same respect from the company to make sure they're doing everything to give me the awareness and ability to do what I need to do. So there's two sides for sure, and there needs to be a happy medium.
Yeah. Rashad Jennings, Jags, Raiders, Giants. Really thoughtful stuff. It is. I'll tell you, when the CTE stories come out, though, do you think more about it now? If you got your bell wrong, would you do you think a little bit about that more now because of the transparency?
Listen. If I get cut, no pun intended. If I have a cut, I'm gonna bleed red. And so are you. We're human. So obviously, when you go see the movie Concussion or you see stuff like it, makes you think. You know what? What am I doing? Life is a lot bigger than a game.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself. So yes, this is something serious, and it does make you think, but never to the point, because I serve a God that's bigger than everybody, so I don't walk around with the fear of, something's going to happen to me. And, you can't live like that. So you do what you love. You put your best foot forward. You get educated. You fight for what's fair, and you live your life. And so I sleep every night knowing I'm comfortable, that God got my back no matter what happens.
This was fun. Boy, you've really thought, I love meeting athletes who just understand everything and have given they're conscientious about the entire world, the business, the sports, their body. Rashad Jennings, Giants, NFLPA player rep. The guys right now are meeting in Boca, the NFL owners' meetings. Hey, man, it was a pleasure, Rashad. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.